This cute cube seems harmless, right? I mean, besides the fact it feels a little bit cold on your tongue and numbs your fingertips. Soon, it will be melted, though. That's because it takes a lot of energy to freeze an ice cube, to keep it frozen, and even if that is for a short amount of time. Yet, every time we walk into a restaurant in this country, we're given a tall glass of water filled with ice cubes, whether we ask for the ice or not, whether it's hot outside or not. This does not happen in other places in the world. In Europe, room temperature water is the norm, not freezing cold ice water. Speaking of the rest of the world, I'd like to convince you that these ice cubes have a climate impact. In fact, I'd like to show you that these ice cubes are a little bit like the iceberg that sank the Titanic. You only see the tip above the water. Only 10% of the damage they can cause. Making and freezing ice cubes takes a lot of energy. The amount of energy depends on a lot of things. Depends on the scale of the freezer, industrial or household, the size of the ice cube, whether it is made on ice trays, metal is better than plastic, or an ice cube maker's, how long it is stored for, and how often you open up the freezer door. To give you some context, the average U.S. household emits 48 metric tons of CO2 a year. 8% of that 48 comes from the refrigerator, and 20% of the refrigerator's carbon emissions are emitted by the ice cube maker. So, in the average U.S. household, the average U.S. ice cube maker emits almost 1 ton of CO2 a year. That's a lot. So, how do ice cubes relate to ice caps? Energy consumption, using non-renewable sources of energy, contributes to climate change. And with climate change, you have the melting of the ice caps. Melting of the ice caps hurts entire cities, states, and countries. They're the reasons why Venice, a center of European art and culture, will be underwater by 2100. Or why thousands of kids in the Maldives will lose their homes and will be living on boats. If you would like an example closer to home, look no further than sunny Miami, one of the most populated cities in America, which could be up to 60% underwater by 2060. There's also a pretty good health reason to not drink ice-cold drinks. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, beverages consumed at 50 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 to 22 degrees Celsius, are considered best when it comes to the body rehydrating and absorbing the water. So, if you like ice cubes in your drinks, it's more of a matter of taste, not hydration. I'm not saying let's get rid of ice cubes altogether. I mean, there's nothing like an ice cube in a lemonade on a hot day. But that's a special occasion. Not every time we need a glass of water. And just going back to the iceberg analogy, I know these ice cubes aren't one of the main reasons for climate change, or even one of the bigger reasons. But there's still a reason. They're still one of the mindless little everyday things that have big climate impacts. Things such as washing towels daily at hotels, taking the elevator up 1 story, driving around the parking lot 3 times to get a spot closer to the store, and worst of all, using single-use plastic. All have big climate impacts and are things that are destroying our planet. So, just remember what the great rapper Ice Cube said, the worst thing you can do about a situation is nothing. So, next time you step into a restaurant, think to order no ice, because really, would you rather have ice cubes or icebergs? Thank you.